Yo YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy SalvationsElite, and we're back with another video, guys. And today we're talking about CWL Miami, talking about everything that went down at Miami and kind of going over it and see what it means moving into the future, talking about the impact that it might have moving forward into COD Champs, and then of course some of the players and teams to watch for moving into these next few weeks. First of all, I'm pissed because I forgot to record like any montage footage for a montage from Miami. I don't know how I forgot. Like, I felt like I was doing it, but I was posting on my Instagram, like Instagram stories about the tourney, and then I just forgot to like actually take videos to put no montage. So unfortunately, no montage in this video like I normally would do. But overall, the event was really solid in general. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Miami was warm but fun overall, and in general I just had a solid time and pretty happy with the event as a whole. So basically the question is, what happened at Miami? Like, my goodness, a lot went down, a lot of things that a lot of people didn't expect happened. I mean, 100 Thieves lost to FaZe in round 1. OpTic got 0-6'd maps and literally just terrible as a whole. Like, my goodness, they could not have played worse. Speaking of OpTic, I'm probably gonna do like a whole video about OpTic tomorrow and dive into like what went wrong for them as a whole, and like really dive into some film, because like I didn't get a chance to watch any of those matches considering I was working the event, the OpTic matches. So I need to go look and see like what happened with them. Oh my goodness. So we are going to dive into that tomorrow. So we're not going to be totally out of CWL Miami content right off the rip. I'm so pumped for Clay. Obviously, I'm sure all you guys saw like the clips of him afterwards, of the, you know, the interviews, and him and Simp and everyone else on EU. That's awesome for that man. 1,400 days since Clay won his last tournament. That's crazy. And for him to finally get one here in a big tournament of the year, that's awesome for him. I'm so pumped about that for him and for eUnited. Good for them, man. I really like, you know, all those guys on that team. They're all really chill guys. So I couldn't be more excited for them. They really represent the Call of Duty scene well as a whole. So even if you hate Clay, you gotta at least respect him for still winning 1,400 days later. So first of all, the players that really shined this tournament was like Simp, Dylan, Envoy, Mox, like Alexx even really played well, and I mean plenty of other players, but those guys kind of like really, I feel like, stood out to me. And I mean specifically Dylan and Envoy both were straight nasty. They both had insane score per minutes and damage per minutes and KDs overall at the tournament, and not to mention like COD Stats, GG's, you know, the COD Stat website. Their ratings for them are both insanely high. So I mean overall, both had incredible tournaments. Simp obviously can't go unmentioned. He played great, won the MVP for EU, like obviously played amazing, and was so much fun to watch in those final few matches of the day. I mean, for EU, they were coming to this as like, you know, one of the favorites for this tournament. You know, most people had them behind 100T, Gen.G, FaZe, OpTic. A lot of people had them like around 5 or maybe 4, depending on how you rated Gen.G or FaZe. And so, I mean, for them to win was really good for them. Awesome stuff for them. And I mean, it does make sense at the end of the day. I mean, they were coming to this, the SOG update, the SOG buff helped them a ton. And I mean, you could see it. Simp, Abezy, like, they're beasts. Obviously, the duo is nasty, and they are fun to watch with these new SOGs. So the third time was the charm for them in the finals. Obviously, they lost Vegas and at London against OpTic and 100T. And of course, they deserved to win this one. So, like, again, Simp had an awesome event. He was the 7th best adjusted KD and the 2nd best, like, COD stats rating at the tournament. So 100% deserving of the MVP for EU. And obviously the COD scene in general is excited to see what Simp can do as a star the next few months and into Modern Warfare. So I mean, I personally am definitely pumped to see what he can do. I think next we're just going to talk about 100 Thieves. Like, what in the world, man? They lost to FaZe right in that winners round 1, and FaZe kind of took it to them, you know, especially in the search and destroy. As you guys have seen here, it was 6-1. And I mean, obviously the controls and the hardpoints were a little bit closer, but it felt like FaZe kind of had control of that match as a whole and like played really well as a squad. And I mean, as you guys are seeing from the stats there, I mean, a Sim 1.36, Cillian 1.34, Skrapz 1.33, 0 1.4, Zoomaa, I mean 0.89 for Zoomaa. That's not like terrible at all. So I mean, they statistically just slaughtered them the whole series. And FaZe looked really good. They were definitely a little bit of surprise. We were all wondering what FaZe could potentially do with this new SOG update and seeing them in action here inside a tournament, in like a tournament setting. And they definitely played well. Obviously, they, you know, they fell a little bit short at the end, but I mean, to take it to 100 Thieves like that, and you guys see like what 100 Thieves did. I mean, my goodness, those are some disgustingly ugly stats against FaZe. Obviously, they kind of rebounded a little bit in the losers bracket, beating EG, beating OpTic, but then they end up falling to Gen.G. Finally, Gen.G got their revenge on 100 Thieves. This is the bracket right here. They just came out shooting as slow and as bad as they basically ever played together. It's hard to say what caused that, but at the end of the day, FaZe was just playing really, really well. Everyone else at the LAN, the pre-LAN, besides OpTic, played great at this tournament. Literally, Gen.G, eUnited, and FaZe, and we're at the LAN with OpTic and they were literally the top 3 teams besides, you know, OpTic. So unfortunate for OpTic, obviously. And like I said, we're gonna talk about them tomorrow because they can be a whole video in themselves for how badly they played in this tournament. I mean, literally, like, it's insane. The stats alone are insane. I can't wait to go watch the gameplay and see what actually happened. So Reciprocity made a little bit of a loser's run. They beat Splice, they beat LG, and then they end up falling to Gen.G as well. And I mean, my goodness, you have to respect the play from some of those guys. I mean, Dylan was literally playing out of his mind for the like 3 of the 4 series, or, you know, all but their last series. He had an unfortunately bad series against Gen.G, which is probably the reason. I mean, I wouldn't say the reason, but I mean, they were really leaning on him before that to really win these matches, and then he ends up playing pretty poorly in that Gen.G match, and so they end up losing, you know, just because they didn't have that insane player he was before, because he was literally dominating before that. These are all adjusted KDs, but he had a 2.12 against EG, a 1.3 versus EU, and a 1.15 versus LG. So he was, I mean, literally frying. And like they had that comeback where he went on that like what 22-2 streak or something like that, and like went absolutely ham and started frying everyone on the frequency. And so like overall, like he was doing work for the squad and looked like one of the best players in the league. And I mean, he definitely is at this point. And my goodness, man, he was fun to watch. And this tournament again showed that Gen.G is really, really good at this game. I mean, they're great. They're insanely good at this game. And I mean, again, they fell short, just short again. As a team, they play incredibly talented team Call of Duty. Like their ability to play together in hardpoint search, like how they maneuver the map together, how they trade kills is better than probably any other team in the league. We're gonna have to learn from the pros with Gen.G because of how well they play together as a squad. And not to mention, Envoy is an absolute monster. So quick funny story about Envoy. On Sunday morning, I walked into the venue and there wasn't much going on, so I went backstage and we were just hanging out by the pro player warm-up stations. And one of the other refs was already playing, like just playing in a bots lobby, and some of the players hopped in. Envoy was one of them. So I ended up hopping into that lobby with the other ref, and we were just playing with some of the pros for like 20 minutes or so. And out of all the pros that were in that lobby, so I think it was like Envoy, Skrapz, Major Maniac, and I don't know, a few others who were like, they were just using like default like names from like CWL events account 135 or whatever. So it's like, you know, they weren't using like their actual PSNs. But Envoy, I literally couldn't kill him. Like he was untouchable that morning. I don't know what it was, but he went out and then played great in those next few matches after that. So he was definitely feeling it on Sunday morning or something because he was on fire. And I legitimately could not touch him. Like, I mean, I was playing with like a default controller, which I normally play with a Scuff or whatever. Like, excuses, I know excuses. But like, regardless, like, even if I had a normal Scuff, I would not have touched Dylan. The dude was like literally not missing. And like, I was doing okay at least against like Skrapz and Major Maniac and a few other guys, but Envoy was the one that stood out where I literally could not shoot him. So before the matches even started, I knew Envoy was about to be frying. So I mean, really after this event, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I think 100 of Thieves easily can rebound and win champs, obviously. But it's weird. It feels like exactly like Rise last year, where like Rise was dominant in the middle to end of the year. Then they didn't play well near the end, and they really played bad at champs. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to say they're going to play bad at champs because they'll probably just end up being the favorite going into champs or something at this point, how this has been going lately. I'm just saying there's inklings of the Rise situation from last year in World War II. Moving forward, obviously, eUnited should be the second best team in the league, if not the best team in the league. That SOG duo is just nasty. And then, of course, Gen.G is going to be great as well. I mean, who knows if Spacey's going to play or if Nagafin's going to play? Who knows? And it doesn't really matter at this point anyway. Obviously, they're going to be good. The other 4 players are solid no matter what, either way. I mean, FaZe is still really interesting to me. They still have a chance to win champs. Obviously, they're going to be one of the teams that are one of the favorites to win champs. It just, for some reason, doesn't feel like it's just fully clicking where they're going to be able to beat the best teams in Black Ops 4. I don't know. I don't love them like I love a few other teams, you know. And then Reciprocity, of course, I mean, they still rely heavily on Dylan. I mean, my goodness, like, when he's frying, they're really good. Alexx had a good event as well, but it's like, it feels like Dylan has to go off for them to dominate and really be great. And so I don't see them really making a run at this point at champs unless something changes over the next few weeks. I wouldn't see Reciprocity as a threat to win champs. But like I said in the video before this, like in our predictions video for this, I wouldn't be surprised if they made a run to like the losers finals or the losers semis like they did in this one. And that's not surprising at all for how their rosters kind of built. And then of course, the 3 other interesting teams are LG, OpTic, and Splice. Like, Splice on paper still should be great. The problem is that they're just really struggling to mesh as a team. And like statistically, Hook and Temp both had solid events and they still couldn't place well. So in their match, I mean, they only played a few matches, but like overall it just wasn't that great. It's just surprising they're not able to play better than they currently are. And LG, I mean, it was a good sign for them. They made that run through the qualifying bracket. They end up beating OpTic, and you know they fall to FaZe 3-1, and then they come back and then they lose to Rec in a 3-2 series. I'm still not going to rule out LG to make a run at champs for sure, because they still have, you know, 3 weeks to get together as a team, kind of mesh as a squad. And again, I'm not going to rule them out at all. I think they still have potential as a team to really rise up and be an incredible team in Black Ops 4, and they could be one of the elite teams by COD champs, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if that is the case. And then we have OpTic, which like I said for the third time, we're going to talk about tomorrow in depth, but they are right now an enigma. Their whole team besides Dashy had a tragic, a terrible, a horrible, every other word in the book that means bad event. Like all of them had like, I don't have the stats right in front of me, but all of them had like under 0.8 KDs. Except for Dashy. What in the world? It is sad, and I can't wait. Like I said, I can't wait to talk about it tomorrow. And so we're gonna go through all of the OpTic situation and trash tomorrow, because that was rough. And we're gonna figure out what the actual problem is and see what's up with that. We can definitely talk more about this. I would love to make another video about, you know, some of the other teams like EG, Heretics potentially, Envy obviously. Like yikes, that's a pile of garbage right there right now. And just overall, like there's plenty of other teams that we could potentially talk about. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video if you guys really enjoy it. I appreciate all the support, and it means a lot to me. We hit 10,000 subscribers, which is unreal, and I can't wait to see what we can do in the future together. Like I said, I want to do something for 10,000, but I don't really know what I want to do for it. So if you guys have any ideas for something that we can do for 10,000 subs, drop it down below. But as always, guys, I'm your boy SalvationsElite, and we'll see you next time. I'm out.